Hey everybody, how's it going? So in the last video, the excavators brought in fill sand and we compacted it to bring our grade up to avoid the flood zone. Then the foundation wall crew came in and built our foundation walls, and in this video we're going to finish up that crawl space slab and then do some grading. While I was gone, the waterproofing company came over and they sprayed a very thick tar-like coating all over the walls. So unfortunately, I don't have that footage. But as you can see, there's a couple guys that are installing the required pea stone around the footers to help with proper drainage. They put a silt screen on top of the pea stone that's covering the footers, and then they'll fill up the interior space with even more pea stone up to a level about 2 inches below the top of the footers. That 2 inches will leave enough room to install our 2 inches of rigid foam insulation later on. And those square blocks that you see in the middle of the foundation, those are footers that will ultimately support the weight load of the internal posts of the timber frame. When we ran water into my barn a few years ago, we brought a 2-inch line in from the main line at the road, and we placed the T right here where the excavators are digging, because we knew someday that we were going to add another line for a house. And so the excavators are finding that T location, and then they're running a trench under our foundation wall so that we can run our water into the house. Man, it has been such a mad dash the last couple weeks. It's just crazy how fast this has gone from an area with trees and lawn to basically a foundation. So the next step is the concrete people are going to go pour the foundation floor, the crawl space floor. They're going to be prepping for that tomorrow evening and then pouring in a couple days on Monday or Tuesday next week. But before they can put the vapor barrier and foam board down, they have to, I have exterminators and we're pest control people coming out, and they're going to be pre-treating the whole area for termites. As I've worked out here on the property, and anytime there's wood on the ground or digging up stumps, there's a lot of termites out here, and it's very concerning, especially when you are building out of timbers that stay green for a long time. Termites apparently really like wetter wood, so we're going to really do our best to treat this foundation. So I have a pest control company coming out, and what they're going to do is spray the entire foundation or crawl space floor before the concrete people come and put the vapor barrier and foam down. And they're also going to spray the whole interior wall, the foundation wall, and then after we backfill, they'll spray again. And over at the barn, we actually have to put a bunch of bait stations out because there's termites in there. One of my internal posts, I saw a termite tunnel this winter, and not what you want, especially as a woodworker with a shop full of wood. Not what you want. So that's super concerning. Not very excited about having to spend that extra money, but you got to do what you got to do. So from my understanding of the process, the exterminators are going to spray this product into the ground, and it forms a chemical barrier that the termites do not cross. They'll spray this all around the footers and inside to completely saturate any way that termites could possibly get in. Then after it's backfilled, they'll come back and spray all around the perimeter again. Here in Michigan, termites aren't nearly as bad as other parts of the country, and apparently in other parts of the country, especially in the South, they have to have new construction sites pre-treated for termites as a required part of the inspection process. It really kind of sucks spending that extra money, but I'll definitely sleep better at night now. And once it's all dried in, I'll go into the crawl space and spray all the perimeter wood with some additional termite preventative spray like Boracare. And if you have any tips or products to help termite proof this house, please let me know down in the comments. Definitely don't want these little buggers in my house. So the next day, after the termite spray had time to dry, the concrete company that I hired, Moyer Construction, which is a local company, came to start work for the slab. First, they're putting down 2 inches of rigid foam and then a vapor barrier before they do their pour. Moyer Construction is the same company that installed the concrete slab in my shop several years ago, and they did a great job then, and so it was a no-brainer for me to have them come out and do this crawl space slab as well. And just like the foundation crew and the excavators, these guys really busted butt and worked really hard in very hot weather, and I was just really impressed with how much work they're able to get done in a day. And the owner of the company, even though he's been doing this for 40 years, he was still out there in the blazing heat, working the whole day right alongside all the young guys, and I think that really says a lot. So I'll put their contact info down in the description. If you're in the Michigan area and want to support a local company that does good work, give them a shout. All right, so it's pouring day now, and the concrete truck and pump trucks are here bright and early, and they begin by filling my sono tubes that are going to support the timber frame post of the front and rear covered porches. Once the sonotubes are filled, they'll start working on the slab. Now, I know a lot of you concrete guys watching this are going to either have a brain aneurysm, you're going to throw your phone or computer across the room because we don't have any rebar in this slab. But it's just a 4-inch crawl space floor that pretty much is never going to have any weight, stresses, or foot traffic on it. So we didn't think rebar was necessary. And I'm sure some of you will tell me how wrong I am, but this is up to code, and we have our super thick rebar reinforced footers everywhere there is a load, and we did add fiber to the concrete mix, so I really do think everything's going to be perfectly fine for a crawl space floor. Once the slab and foundation walls have had enough time to properly harden, the excavators come back and start backfilling. And now just after a few weeks, we went from having trees and lawn to this big old foundation. So it's really exciting to see all that happening. And now I get to jump in and start my part of the work. I've basically had to sit back and watch these processes, but now I finally get to jump in. I'm really excited about that. In the next video, we're going to start framing the first floor. So hopefully you subscribe and follow along on this journey. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.